Morning, everybody. Let's try that again. Good morning, everyone. As you can tell, I have recovered more of my voice, which has been a very good thing for today. Not as strong still as it normally could be, but still very, very, very fun. First things first. The the emotional video that I posted late last night when I couldn't sleep. I didn't intend to actually post. I was saving it, but at the late hour, I had saved everything for what I would want it to look like should I publish it. And I think I was so tired that I actually published it. So, I'm never going to apologize for the truth, which was very, very much on display in a very emotional manner in that video. But just so you are aware of a little bit of kind of where that one came from. And looking back on it today and watching it, I feel just as emotional as I did when I recorded it. So it's definitely very, very true. And the truth is all we talk about on the mic drop, right? Welcome to the mic drop. I'm your host, the mic with the most, with a voice that sounds like a ghost, and hopefully it doesn't put me on roast. But I'm here today for, unfortunately, what has become a very long saga of standing up for what's right and trying to confront what's not right. And today's video is part 7 of this continuing saga, and the saga is coming to a close relatively soon as far as mic drop videos. The saga itself was more of like I want it to be a here's what happened, and then there's the it happened, and then everything that happened afterward. And in my mind, the second that the goal was achieved on Sunday for the kids to be heard and cheered for, I was good. I didn't need anything else. But just like the reasons I went there, I didn't go for me. And just like the reasons I'm here now speaking continually even after graduation and all that stuff is already done, is also not because of me, it's because of you. And I promised you guys today that after my morning job interview, which went exactly how it was supposed to, I will let you know exactly the results of that later on. I got another one tomorrow, and I plan on calling that other school to set up something by the end of the week, but I wanted to get this video out first so that you had time to watch it, process it a little bit, and see if there's anything you wanted to do tonight at the school board meeting. Now, hear me clearly when I say this, so there is not any form of miscommunication. I do not want, nor do I condone, any violence at all. Period. For advocacy, violence is not needed. In fact, violence works in opposition of the advocacy of why you're there. So if you're angry, if you're furious at the way that things have been going on, I love you. I support you and I hear you. I can feel the fire burning inside of you. But if you're going to stand with Molohon, this is the way we do it. This is the mic drop. This is Mike's truth. You want to go in there and raise, all kind of concerns in whatever way you want to, you go right ahead. It's your truth. I'll support you going in there and asking whatever questions you want. But if you're going to represent what I stand for and the reasons why I do this, violence is never an answer, and it's never a solution, because I'm a peacemaker. I'm literally anti-divisive, which is a fancy way of saying I'm extremely inclusive. I don't like anybody feeling left out or like they're not as valued as everybody else. The reason that I wanted to get on here as soon as I could was, I want you guys to have some time to process. I wrote down what I believe that I would like to say if I were to be able to go to the board meeting. And I don't have a lot to say that I haven't already said to the board meeting in all of these videos. To shorten it down to a 3-minute for me would be a monstrous task. For those that would like to support me, support what it is that I'm trying to do for clarity and truth and accountability and all the stuff that Middlebury Community Schools says that they pride themselves on that don't actually put into practice. To that end, it is 5.5 minutes into the video right now. At the 6-minute mark, I'm going to start speaking as if I was present in front of the school board. It's not going to be a full 3 minutes. There's a reason for that. But this is what I would say if I could look at each of them in the eye and ask them what was on my heart over the past few days. So, here's what I would say. Good afternoon. I'm standing here today in place of someone who cannot. If he could, he would be here to deliver these words himself. But in his place, I stand here in solidarity, not necessarily condoning or agreeing with him or his actions, but recognizing that his concerns for the safety, health, and longevity of our children and the staff who support them daily. For the past week, your actions as an administrative body have raised a few questions, and the person that I stand here for today, like them, I would also like some answers. First question, what legal, moral, and or ethical reasons did you have for banning Mr. Molohon from graduation? Please explain it to me in great detail, as I believe I'm not the only one here today that would like a better answer to the one that you've given, which is to say you haven't given one at all. Question 2. What was the real reason behind the last-minute cancellation of the live stream an hour before the ceremony began? Do you realize the impact you had on families who plan to watch their loved ones walk across that stage together? If you do, please tell me how you would feel being in a situation where you were the one to have a loved one graduate. And let's say you've been preparing for this day for weeks with your family, and you're sitting there at home with them, you're all decked out in your school spirit gear and with the memories of what your loved one accomplished during their time in school, ready to pull up the screen and then see an update. Not a new message, just an update on there will be no live stream. If either of the answers to these questions is because you felt there was a safety concern, please explain also in very great detail so that we could understand why you felt that way and took the actions that you did. Question 4. There are now dozens of personal testimonies circulating online from former graduates, parents, and even staff members about feeling bullied, harassed, or otherwise treated unsafely and unfairly during their time at your schools. When these stories have been shared on your social media for you to address publicly, you've instead chosen to systematically and silently eliminate the ability for members of your own community to reach out in truth, without fear of repercussions, just for answers. How do you respond to that? While I want to believe that you are the trustworthy governing body you claim and advertise yourself to be, your actions to be in direct opposition to the validity of that trustworthiness. As such, my trust in your ability to serve the needs of me and my family, actual members of this community, has now been put into question, and we'd all like to hear how you plan to resolve that. Thank you for your time. That's it. It's like right on the money at 3 minutes. So I can't do any better. I mean, I probably could if I had some more time, but I want you guys to have the time to think about it. This is just what I would say. I would be much more, how do I say this? It would mean so much more to me, and it would be such a blessing if you were to go there and advocate for me. Great. If you were going there to advocate for yourself, for your child, for your loved one, for your husband or wife that works at the school, for anybody, my whole reason of me doing me is so you feel confident to do you, so that you can ask the same questions. I'm happy to be a face and a voice for the questions you are afraid to ask because of how they have responded to other people who have asked those same questions. They can't do any more to me than what they already have. So, hopefully, you heard my heart in what I was trying to ask. I'm actually going to print it all out. I'm going to type it up too and find a way to put it somehow either on the mic drop or post it somewhere so that people watching this video, if they want to show up and say the 3 minutes that they would like, they would at least have something to read off of. Again, I am not asking anyone to do anything for me. Not at all. This is a response to an outcry and an outpouring of love in a way that floored me so hard emotionally last night that I had to verbally process it through a video, which is actually really, really helping me, believe it or not. It's very empowering to be able to be weak live to so many, to show others that it's okay. It's okay to be weak. It's okay to be broken down and beaten and cry and tear up and not know what to do and question your self-worth and all that stuff. That's human nature. You're not weird for doing that. But don't let it stop you. Your truth is more important than your fear. Laws and policies and statutes and everything right now seems to be created more out of a place of fear of something happening than as a result of something happening. And that's a mic truth. That's just a mic drop. Feel free to come on and talk with me about this at some point. And after today, after the events of the school board meeting, I'm going to reach out and just ask, how did it go? And anybody that wants to tell me their stories, just like they're doing online, if anybody goes to the school board meeting themselves and records it and wants to share it that way. I'm not sure what is legal or illegal for a school board event because I'm no longer invited to any of them. So, all I'm going to ever ask you to do is to do you. And if doing you right now is so strong to support me and what I stand for, then I will help you to do that too. Thank you. Thank you for being courageous. Thank you for those that are not going to go, that are sitting and listening to this now and are, talking with their family about this, or they're praying about it, or they're doing something true to themselves when they've heard these stories, that they're taking notice of it instead of just ignoring it. And for right now, that's the best thing I could ask for. It's your truth versus the perceived or propaganded truth of Middlebury Entitlement Schools. And they have the power to silence everything, and they're hiding in their own little area where they actually have control and can throw trespasses everywhere, which is what people do when they're scared. They retreat back to the only areas that they have control. Why are you scared, Middlebury Community Schools? Why? If you are who you advertise yourself to be, you've nothing to be afraid of. You should have an answer to every single one of these questions. You should be prepared to stand up in front of the people that elected you and you serve and say, this is why this actually happened, and do so in such a way that they don't have to look at you like, why are you lying to our face? I'm going to teach a little psychology today. For those of you that want to go to the board meeting, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to teach you how to read people who are being fake, all right? And this is going to be a very, very, very unique circumstance to the school board meeting and that kind of stuff. So please don't walk out of here thinking you can be like the next mentalist or whatever. If you can, hey, again, do you. You got my support. I'd love to see it. When you go before the school board, you will notice that there won't be a lot of people that will want to look you in the eye. And if they do, it's because they don't feel afraid at all of what it is that you have to say. Good. I don't think they should feel afraid. I feel they should feel prepared to answer for what it is that has caused so much harm to their community and the kids and the loved ones who wanted to watch their kids graduate live. So here's what to look for, okay? When they're answering those questions, the reason I emphasize the words in great detail is because consummate politicians who don't like to get their hands caught in the cookie jar will have a way of explaining why they did something without ever saying a word about why they did it. So listen to their responses. Listen in earnest. Listen genuinely. See if you can hear the humanity in them. Or see if you hear a politically rehearsed response to cover up stuff. Some of you might not know what that looks like. Some of you know exactly what that looks like and have no problem whatsoever saying, there it is, corruption, there it is. Hey, I love your passion, man, for sure. But watch. And then listen to their responses. And if their responses are vague, if their responses are, my favorite one is going to be this. This is my favorite tactic that they'll use. It's called time. Okay. Right now we are at the end of a school year. This is what they do. If things go bad with Middlebury Entitlement Schools, they have one last meeting before there's a huge break, and then they're going to pray and sweat bullets that over the next 2 months everybody forgets what happened towards the end of last year, and they can just go back to normal in the way that they've done things year after year after year. It's what happened after what happened with John Homan after spring break. It's what happened. You know what? You guys, you make your own decisions on that. I could spit some truths, and I could point out a few for instances, but I don't need to. At this point, I think there's enough concern raised that I don't need to raise any additional concern, because the concerns that I have raised have not been addressed, nor have yours. So watch and listen to their responses. See if it's vague. And when they use time, it's going to be one of those things that's like, you know what, you're absolutely right. We are sorry. We're sorry. We dropped the ball there. You're right. You know what? We're going to do better. And we're going to meet over the summer as a school board to really try to put in some new this or some new that to really address the issue. I don't believe them. That's a mic drop. You can. You are intelligent people. You matter. You have a brain. You have a heart. You have the capacity for love and thought. Therefore, your very existence validates your presence anywhere. And if no one's told you that before, you need to hear it, because I'm not going to stop saying it. Okay? If you breathe, I love you. And here's something else too. The hashtag that I finally found out that was going around is Stand with Molohon, which is it's extremely humbling, and I love that. Thank you. Literally in tears over that. And I love you for coming up with that, for sure. And you don't, and I'm not asking you to like replace it or switch or anything else too. If you're going to stand with Molohon and you want a hashtag that supports a movement, here's the hashtag. Okay? If you breathe, I love you. Hashtag. Make it happen. It's not about me. Sure, it's about what I stand for. And there have been some very creative moms of the Middlebury community that have reached out wanting to do t-shirts in support of this. And my creative brain has been going like buck wild of so many different cool and fun things, the way they can do this. But the message of support does not need to be standing with Molohon. The message of support needs to be, you need to love people, Middlebury Community Schools, like every single one of them matters. Not because their checkbook is lined, not because they're on a book club meeting with one of the school board members or the superintendent, not because you grew up with someone who is now the head coach of the school. None of that. Equality is different than equity. And the equity at Middlebury Community Schools is sus. In adult terms, that means suspicious. In child terms, it means among us, sus. Going forward from this, after next week, after this week, after I get through my interviews, the mic drop is going to explode. And it's going to It's going to become more than what it is right now. There's going to be a few different parts to it. I'm loving that these videos have ended up episodically, so I'm kind of hoping that at some point between the 25 to 30 minute mark, I'll be able to start doing maybe some series. And the goal of the mic drop was not to be a delivery system of the truth. The goal of the mic drop was meant to be an inclusive live environment of discussing truths. And I haven't figured out Twitch yet in order to figure that out. That's the only reason that's been going on. And my kids shake their heads sometimes. They're like, Molohon. I'm like, dude, I'm 40 now. I know I don't look it with this baby face, but I mean, I was an original member of the Facebook.edu. All right, that's how old I am. You want to Twitch? Last time I twitched, it's when somebody said something that just irked me, and I was that's my Twitch. So I'm working on it. A little bit of time, a little bit of grace. But the intent for that would be to, at a given time, every single week, I'm going to be online. I'm going to be doing this, and it's going to be live, and people are going to be able to come in and type and ask questions and share their truths that they want vocalized out here, can come on themselves and speak it if they feel so inclined. Like, that's the whole goal of how I would like it to explode. And there's a couple other components that are going to be so awesome, they're going to come like adjacent to the totality that is the mic drop. That I think is just going to further push the mission of sharing truth. That's the goal anyway. So, thank you very much for listening. Thank you for being willing to advocate for something that is greater than just yourself. Like, that takes a lot of courage. And I wish that your entire community was filled with people like you, because then I would be redundant. I wouldn't have a job. The community of Middlebury community would be so conversationally in tune with each other because they're not afraid of sharing the truth. You wouldn't need an advocate. You'd be able to do it yourself. Whatever you choose to do tonight, tomorrow, going forward, just know that I love you and I support your truth 100%. Okay? If you're going to stand with me, do so in a very, very intelligent and compassionate way. One of the last things I'll leave you with was kind of one of those cool ideas that I had. I had an idea where they wanted to do a T-shirt, and they wanted to do some kind of like acrostic or acronym or something along those lines. So I came up with a weird acrostic of SWIM, SWIM, like SW period, all that stuff. So SWIM, and in the picture itself, the I is going to have like an arrow over the top of it, almost kind of like Amazon's does, that goes to the front of the word, and it just says I. And then underneath the S, it says stand, and then underneath the W, it says with, and with the M, it says Molohon. So technically, you could be a swimmer. And that made me laugh, and I'm thinking, wow, I didn't even think about that. But again, my mind comes up with some pretty fantastical stuff from time to time. I can't wait to come up with an idea. I can't wait to come up with a shirt that represents it all. Like, if you breathe, I love you. The ideas for those shirts, I would love to see. I would love to hear. So, this is Mike from the Mic Drop signing off. I got to save a little bit of my voice still because I still got more interviews I got to do, but I was here for you. I'm with you. Thank you for being with me and for me, even when I haven't asked you to be, and you standing up for what you feel is right anyway. Don't ever stop. You're a rock star. And I pray that at the end of the Middlebury Entitlement Schools Saga, that there is peace, resolution, and a step up on the part of Middlebury Community Schools. An admission of wrongdoing, intentionally or unintentionally, I don't care. Hey, the school corporation can come up to me right now and apologize for everything, genuinely, and I'm going to come right back up here on the microphone and I'm going to say, here's the truth. Every single one of the Middlebury Community School members called me and apologized, and Dr. Jason Snyder called me and apologized, and all this and all this stuff, and we talked through it, and they gave voice to my concerns, and I really felt hurt. I will share that as my truth if it's the truth. I have no agenda here other than the actual truth. Promise. Watch anything else and see if you find anything else. Let me know, because that is the truth, and I'm gonna let it drop right on that. Okay. Look forward to hearing how it goes tonight from all of you, and I anticipate tomorrow's mic drop video being fun. Lots of fun. Love you all. Have a fantastic day. Stick to your truth, and if you breathe, don't ever forget how much I love you.